Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Shannon with Apogee of the Moon, and I am here with a weekly forecast for September 5th through September 11th, 2021. So this week, we have some really interesting energy in the astrology, a little bit intense, little, icy. And some really nice stuff too, but we'll get there. So my pretty little graphics, I hope you all appreciate the pretty graphics. I try, guys, I try. For this week, we have a really very powerful, very grounded, very practical, very meticulous new moon in Virgo. And it's really beautiful. It really is. Like, you can't discount it. But, a little before, a little after, there's some interesting energy. And so to start off with, we're going to be having Venus square Pluto on September 5th. And then on September 6th, we will have, several things going on. We're going to have Mars in trine with Pluto. We're going to have Venus in trine with Jupiter. We're going to have the new moon itself. And we're also going to have, the sun and the moon trine Uranus. So lots of crazy stuff going on the 6th. A lot of it very positive, very interesting, very long lasting energy because it's in the earth signs. And then, we do have Venus on the 10th moving into Scorpio. So those are the energies of the week. And to start off with, it's a little dicey, right? We have Venus in her home sign of Libra, Pluto, the very beautiful yet destructive force that it is, in Capricorn. And so this can see upset. Now keep in mind Venus will go retrograde over Pluto, and it will actually conjunct Pluto 3 times this fall and winter, and into the new year. This square aspect though can see power struggles in relationship. This can also see really intense and very disruptive energies, where Libra and Capricorn are in our natal charts. And in a more general sense, this can see really intense and very heightened perceptivity of how we relate to power, how we relate to control, how we relate to our own power and our own control on that internal level, and how we see it playing out in the world around us. This can also see us understanding how we allow our power to be stripped away from us. And I don't mean like in the new age kind of shenanigans that are perpetuating the same old, right? I mean real personal power. And so for that, I would definitely direct you to Griselda's work with the Hermetic principles, with the feminine, with nature itself, and definitely, really look at that and understand where she's coming from with that, because she has such profound knowledge, like literal physical experience with it. And so I just wanted to plug that and to let you all know that definitely her work is very profound, and it's definitely had an impact on my life. And even, as an astrologer, it's had an impact with how I look at things and how I look at the aspects and how I look at how things kind of move around the zodiac and how they evolve over time. It's definitely had an impact on that as well. So she is the only Griselda Pacheco out there that I know of. So definitely look her up on Facebook and Instagram, and so, yeah, look her up. Awesome work that she's doing out there, and completely, overlooked and underrated. But what she has to offer is deeply profound and will completely change your life. All the good ways too. So then moving on from Venus squaring Pluto, we do on September 6th have Mars in trine with Pluto, Venus in trine with Jupiter, the new moon, and the new moon also in trine with Uranus, the great liberator of the zodiac. So there's a lot to unpack with this. And so let's start with Mars in trine with Pluto. So this energy is really powerful in and of itself. Mars as a planet is our action, right? It's action oriented as well. And in Virgo, it's about perfecting and ordering all the things. And, you know, Mars is not very nice in Virgo. He's kind of a, you know, he's kind of a dick. In Virgo. Sorry for people that have Mars in Virgo. At its lowest expression, it is definitely very nitpicky and, you know, kind of really likes to tear things apart and tear things down. But in trine with Pluto in Capricorn, this can see restructuring our foundations and taking very practical, pragmatic steps, you know, to hone in on what really needs to be rebuilt or deconstructed, depending, right? Or demolished in any way, shape, or form. And so it's a very practical and honed in focus point for getting really super clear on all the things that you want to change on a practical, tangible, physical level, including our health, including our well-being, including any structures or any cages that we have built for ourselves. And then with, at the same time, right, because this is all happening on the same day, Venus coming into a trine with Jupiter, these are both benefic planets. You know, they're having a tete-a-tete, as I say, a tete-a-tete in trine. So Venus is in her home sign of Libra, which is a masculine sign, very talkative, very relational. And, you know, granted, Venus is still in square with Jupiter, but now with the trine, or in square with Pluto, sorry, but now with the trine to Jupiter, you know, this can see much deeper understanding of how we can go about deconstructing and restructuring our lives in these specific areas to be more in alignment with the groups and people we wish to surround ourselves with, right? The people that we relate to on that one-to-one level. This can see much more profound sense of personal power and how we utilize that power within a group setting to either uplift or change group dynamics for the betterment of the group as a whole. You know, not with coercion or with any, you know, divisiveness, but with cohesion and, you know, relational kind of things. So we really truly are greater together than we are apart or individually. The new moon in Virgo in trine with Uranus, we are in the midst of this great restructuring of our lives and our everyday selves, you know, and we can have positive changes manifesting for us in our lives. And, you know, the fact that we are in the exact middle of these eclipse points, you know, or eclipse seasons says that there can be positive changes manifesting for us. You know, this moon is squaring the next total solar eclipse in Sagittarius and the last solar eclipse that we had in Gemini. So this is asking us to really begin the process of letting go and moving forward. This is asking us to let go of very outdated and very stuck ways of being and doing things and get very precise and orderly, albeit outside of the box, ways of doing things, and be ready for those final shifts, those final pivots, the final changes that are being made on the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius in our charts, right? And so the final aspect of the week would be Venus moving into Scorpio, You know, Venus may be debilitated in Scorpio, but she does function very, very interesting here. Venus in Scorpio is very penetrative, very perceptive, very focused, very obsessed. You know, Venus's attention would be on merging with and relating to others at a deeper, more profound level. You know, people that have Venus in Scorpio are very intense, are very passionate, are very focused on the people that they are in relationship with. And so, you know, it takes someone that has kind of like that stronger personality to be able to contain someone and hold someone's attention that has this, you know, Venus and Scorpio aspect in their natal chart. So, you know, Fatal Attraction comes to mind, Basic Instinct, Disclosure, all Michael Douglas movies you can look up online. Very intense, very sometimes psychotic, right? It just depends. But you know, just be careful as Venus does transit this sign. Things may get very deep very quickly, very intense. You know, and she's also, Venus will be the first planet to form the next T-square in, you know, with Uranus and with Saturn, but we will, you know, get there when we get there. But that is coming, guys. That is coming. And so I know I said last week that I had some announcements for you, but I'm not quite ready this week to announce them. So I will maybe announce them next week. I'm working on some things behind the scenes, trying to get things set up. But really for me, it's a technological kind of thing going on. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing by you and, you know, offering something that maybe you would be interested in. So I just need the technology to cooperate, and it's not quite doing that right now. So moving on to each sign. So what this means for each sign, Venus in square with Pluto, you know, this is happening in your 7th and in your 10th house for Aries rising people. And so what's happening here is there can be power struggles with people in positions of authority over you. There can be money issues even with, you know, what's going on with the legacy that you want to leave behind. This can be, you know, maybe power struggles with your partner's resources or your partner's money, right? Material possessions. But that because Venus does rule your 2nd and your 7th house, this could definitely, and you know, Pluto does rule your 8th house as a co-ruler. This could definitely be power and control issues to do with money, your partner's money, you know, money coming in from the government, money coming in from an outside resource, money coming in from clients. It could be power struggles there, and very intense power struggles there. So just be aware of that. Now with this new moon happening in Virgo, this is happening in your 6th house. You have, you know, a great trine from Mars to Pluto here, and Venus will be trining, you know, Mars is trining from your 6th to your 10th. You know, Venus is trining from your 7th to your 11th. And then the sun in trine with Uranus is happening from your 2nd to your 7th, or 2nd to your 6th. So these are all money houses, future oriented houses, and the new moon itself is happening in your 6th house of work and daily routines and health and wellness and well-being. And so there could definitely be a very powerful shift for you in terms of what it is that you're doing every single day, the physical, tangible money that you're making in the world, how you're known to the world at large, how you're known to the people, you know, in the public, your public persona could definitely take on a whole new meaning. So there's definitely a shift happening for you, Aries rising people specifically, you know, Aries sun, Aries moon to lesser degrees. But as an Aries rising, this is definitely going to shift who you are, the groups that you associate with, the relationships that you have, the money that you're bringing in, and your daily routines and your health, your wellness, what you're doing for work even can shift with this. And especially because this is a new moon in your 6th house, this is definitely a shift in what it is that you're doing every single day, and also what it is that you're doing for work in the world. Now, Venus moving into Scorpio, this is your 2nd and your 7th house ruler moving into the 8th house. And so this could definitely be a focus on your value, your worth, your money, and your partner's value, worth, and money, and how they relate to each other, how they come together or don't, right? Over her transit here in Scorpio, just so you're aware. So the emphasis isn't just on your partner's resources or your partner's values or sense of worth. This can also be yours, and how your sense of value, your sense of worth, and your partner's sense of value and worth combine or don't, right? Like that's a thing here in the 8th house. So how we relate to others, this could be a transformation of the money or material possessions that are coming in for your spouse or your partnerships. This could also be getting very deep and very intimate with your partner over the coming weeks with Venus here in Scorpio. So that is for Aries rising. For Taurus and for Taurus rising, Venus, is your chart ruler, is your 6th house ruler. And so she's at home in the 6th house of your daily routines, of your work, and she's in square with Pluto in your 9th house of what's true, right, and just in the world, your higher viewpoint of your, your higher education or your college or your certificate programs that you're going through. Pluto is definitely transforming how you see things in the world. And so with Venus here in square with Pluto, from the 6th to the 9th, this could definitely be, you focusing on your health, your wellness, your well-being, your daily routines, the money that you're making out in the world, and how that big picture affects you and affects what you're doing every day, right? Your value systems could be changing, especially if you're a Taurus rising. To a lesser extent, maybe as a Taurus sun, this could be your career, what you're doing out in the world, what it is that lights you up. And as a moon, this could be, your internal, more subjective kind of reality that you're facing. But, Venus in square with Pluto, this is very hyper-focused and very, very focused on transforming, it could also be destroying certain things in your life, right? Certain things that you thought to be right, true, and just in the world, and they're just crumbling with Pluto here. And so now there's this need, this desire to change what is that you're doing every day to be able to accommodate this new worldview that you have. Now, this new moon that's happening with all these other aspects that are going on with Mars, Mars is in Virgo in your 5th house, in trine with Pluto in your 9th. Venus, in your 6th house, in trine with Jupiter in your 10th house. The new moon happening in your 5th house, and the sun, sun and moon, because it's really by degree. This new moon in trine with Uranus in your sign. This is you, right? So this could see you completely coming out of left field as a Taurus rising specifically, or sun or moon, depending, right? But you yourself coming out of left field, really deciding that what it is that you are truly passionate about informs your worldview. And you are going to take the reins of what it is that you're doing every day to really benefit you in the long term of what it is that you want to do out in the world, completely changing how it is that you're known or who you're known as. And so you know, with this new moon specifically happening in your 5th house, this is a new chance at romance, a new chance at creativity, fun, play, maybe even a new beginning in terms of children. You know, if that's something that's applicable to you. And with the sun, you know, with this new moon actually in trine with Uranus, this would be, you know, shaking things up, you completely rattling how it is that you're known, what it is that you're known for, what you're doing, and you know, being able to implement the changes to be able to have more fun, to be able to play more, to be able to, you know, engage with and be with your children on that more personal level, right? And so then we do have Venus moving into Scorpio. Venus is, you know, your chart ruler, is your 6th house ruler. Your focus is definitely going to be shifting from what it is that you're doing every day to your partner and what's going on with your partner, what's going on with your business partner, your romantic partner, right? Whether or not you're married, you know, your clients, even if that's applicable to you. And so your focus is going to be there on other people. It's going to be, your focus is going to be on the other people in your life and how you relate to them. So that is upcoming too, as well, this coming week. So then for Gemini and Gemini rising, you know, Venus in square with Pluto, Venus is in your 5th house. This is fun. This is play. This is romance. She's coming home to roost here in terms of, you know, house rulership, and she rules your 5th house. So this is definitely strengthening what it is that you love to do, what you love to do, when you love to do it, you know, your relationship with your children, romantic partners, things like that. But Pluto is definitely, you know, Pluto's in your 8th house, you know, transforming the structures, maybe transforming what it is that your partner is doing for work, or the money, material possessions that your partner is bringing in. This could be insurances as well, taxes, inheritance. You know, this could definitely be old traumas coming up for review for you. And so, you know, that's a thing here too. And so this, you know, this will be moving on in a couple of days. Now Mars, though, you know, in trine with Pluto, Venus in trine with Jupiter at the new moon, and the sun in trine with Uranus, all these are happening on the same day, you know, just a day after Venus comes in square with Pluto. You know, the Mars is in your 4th house. And in trine with Pluto in your 8th house. So this could definitely see some type of inheritance, some type of insurance, definitely something going on in that realm of maybe, you know, signing on the dotted line and getting a loan for a new house, or moving, or a lease, or something like that. Like there's something to do with money that has to do with the home. If you have a home business, this could be money coming in from clients as well. You know, something like that. With Venus in trine with Jupiter, this is happening from your 5th to, you know, your 9th house. And I mean, that's really nice energy to have. This is informing your children, your hobbies, your romantic partners, higher education, worldview, you know, so things that you love to do, maybe take on a new lease, right, of life, or something like that, right? So this could definitely be, you know, Venus in its rulership with Jupiter. You know, maybe there's something that you're really super passionate about, that you want to be known for in the future, that you're needing to go back for education for. And so with this new moon happening in Virgo, this is happening in your 4th house. And so this is definitely, I mean, maybe there's a move for some Geminis that are coming up, like an actual physical move and purchasing of a new home, and just because some of these other aspects that are going on. You know, with this new moon in trine with Uranus, this is happening in your 12th house. You know, unfortunately, it could be an ending of some sort. It could be a prominent figure that is no more, or an inheritance of some kind that's coming to you from a prominent figure in your life. It could be something like that. You know, for some of you, for others of you, this could be, you know, divine inspiration, or maybe something comes through a dream for you, because the 12th house also rules dreams. And it turns into something very physical and very tangible for you. The, you know, the sun, this new moon happening in your 4th house, this is a new beginning on the home level. This is either relating to your parents in a different way, moving, you know, something new on the home front, whether or not it's, you know, material possessions or something like that, or even communication coming through, or communication of an expenditure coming through on the home front as well. It could be something like that. Now, Venus moving into Scorpio, Venus moving into Scorpio is moving into your 6th house. So your focus is going to be on the, you know, the health, the wellness, the daily routines, the job, what it is that you do every single day. Your focus is going to be there as well, for, you know, yourself, or maybe even your romantic partner or your children will be focused on what it is that you're doing every day, or maybe they're going to be involved with something that you do every single day. So that can be seen here too, if we're using house rulerships. So then for Cancer and for Cancer rising, Venus squaring Pluto, this is happening in your 4th house and in your 7th house. So Venus is in its home sign of Libra. Libra rules your 4th house. So this could see action needing to be taken with your parents in partnership, or with a family member in partnership, or with something to do with your home, your property, your roots, where you come from, even your ancestors. And so Pluto is getting very deep in, you know, in Capricorn in your 7th house. So if you're a later degree Cancer rising, you know, this can show up that way, as I said, or this could even show up as you taking action on like getting to know your roots, and or a relationship that is starting that's very secret and nobody knows about it. It could be something like that too, for some of you. Now, this new moon with, you know, all these aspects on this same day, it's crazy how many aspects are actually coming exact on the same day as the new moon. Mars in trine with Pluto from your 3rd to your 7th. This is definitely communication about career and partnership. Venus in trine with Jupiter. This is happening from your 4th to your 8th. So this could be, you know, communication about, with the new moon in Virgo, this is really interesting. And I just had a thought for some of you, Cancer rising specifically, especially if you're a later degree Cancer rising, like 22 to 27 degrees. You know, this could definitely be communication about something going on with your parents' home, your parents' property, you know, insurances with your parents' property. It could actually be beneficial to you specifically, because maybe they decide, you know what, we have this money, you know, we have this money that came in and we're going to actually give it to you so that way you can do something with it. Something like that. It could be. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just saying, like, some of you, it could be that. The new moon in Virgo itself, this is a new beginning in how you communicate. And this is your chart ruler, you know, being very dark right now. And so there's a lot of introspection that needs to be made in how it is that you're communicating with other people, what you're communicating with other people, who you're communicating with. And this could also be, you know, over the course of the next month, when, you know, the subsequent full moon and then new moon upcoming, right? This could be something to do with vehicles and how you're moving through the community. This could even be a new beginning in the community that you're living in. And with the trine to Uranus, this is happening in your 11th to your 4th. And so this could definitely be some really shocking, really intense communication, but in a positive way, right? It's a trine, so it's gonna be a positive. A communication from a friend is really gonna kind of shake you up over the course of the next month, and really kind of hit something home for you, you know, and really kind of there could be communication coming in from a friend that's really going to kind of shake things up for you specifically. And then Venus moving into Scorpio, I mean, your 4th house ruler moving into your 5th. So this could be, you know, and this is also your 11th house ruler too, if we're running by house rulerships. And so maybe there's a friendship that's going to be taken to a different level, because with Venus moving into Scorpio, your focus is going to be on what brings you joy, what's fun, what's playful, what's sexy, what's romantic, you know, children, if that's applicable to you. If not, it's definitely hobbies, or even the birth of a new fun project that you really want to work on and it's really exciting to you. So that could be what's going on for Cancer and Cancer rising. For Leo and for Leo rising, this is happening, right? This Venus in square with Pluto is happening in your 3rd and in your 6th house. So there could definitely be really intense, really profound conversations happening in terms of your career, right? Because Venus rules your 10th house of career. It also rules your 3rd house of communication in general. So maybe your communication about what it is that you're doing on a daily basis is going to take on a whole new meaning. Maybe there's something that needs to really be vetted and talked about, and yeah, vetted would be a good word for Pluto, you know, in Venus in square with Pluto. This could also see maybe writing, because the 3rd house is also writing. Like, I know for me, I'm a Leo rising, and I can tell you this weekend, I was kind of tasked with something, and now I have to really get very clear and very focused on how I want to write something, and I need to actually like really focus and do it, right? So that Venus in square with Pluto, if you're a writer, this could see you really getting honed in on what it is that you need to write, how you need to structure it, and what you need to do. And you're going to be laser focused on having the right words in the right way to be able to write something or to communicate something, right? Because this is also the house of communication and speaking as well. So if you're not writing something and you're speaking something, this could definitely see you, you know, being very clear, very focused, and very diligent about what it is that you're communicating, how it is that you're communicating it. Excuse me. And it could be really transformational in terms also too of what you're doing every single day. Now, this new moon and all these aspects that are being made at this new moon, you know, Mars in trine with Pluto, Venus in trine with Jupiter, the new moon itself, and then, you know, the new moon in trine with Uranus. This is really powerful energy for Leos. And so Mars is in Virgo, which is your 2nd house, your money, your materials, your possessions. Mars rules your 9th house of your worldview, your dogma, really, like how you view the world, everything that you believe, you truly believe to be right, true, and just, in your 2nd house of what it is that you value, not just your finances, but what you value at that core level. And then the trine to Pluto in your 6th house of what it is that you're doing every day. This is being very clear about what it is that you want to do every single day, what really lights you up every single day. This can also be a focus on the money that needs to be, right? Because both of these are also your 4th house rulers. This could also see you really focused on what it is that you're doing with your time, with your energy, with your money, with 4th house themes, right? Every day. So there's definitely something going on there. with Venus and trine Jupiter, Venus is in your 3rd house. Jupiter is obviously in your 7th. So Venus rules your 3rd house of how you speak and communicate. Venus also rules your 10th house of what it is that you're known for, the legacy that you want to leave behind after you're gone. Jupiter rules your 5th house and rules your 8th house. So there could be something going on with a lover. There could be something going on with joint finances. There could be something going on with children. But this is a trine. This is really positive energy. So there could definitely be some really interesting, really profound communications to do with your children, your hobbies, your romantic, sexy kind of things going on there in that 5th house. But it could also be to do with your long-term partnerships and possibly even your in-laws, right? Because the 8th house is also your in-laws. If we're talking about some different house derivatives. I don't think that's the word. I can't think of the word right now. Anyway, Venus in trine with Jupiter, this could also be some type of inheritance coming in through your partner's resources as well. It may be something to do with either the money that they're making or some money coming in through their parents. I'm just saying. The new moon itself in Virgo is happening in your 2nd house. Something of value to you, money, material possessions. This is also, the sun rules you. So the sun is here. Your focus has been on what it is that you value, has been on your material possessions, has been on the money that you're making, your bank account, right? Your savings account. So your attention here has been focused on that. And now with this new moon here, there could definitely be a new beginning, and a new beginning in terms of what it is that you're doing that's kind of creative and out of the box with Uranus. With this new moon in trine with Uranus, there's something that's really, okay, that was weird. There was a really weird noise. Sorry, guys. Something that's really outside of the box. I don't know what that means, but hey, maybe, there's extra attention that needs to be paid to this. So with this new moon in trine with Uranus in your 10th house, this is also your 7th house rulers. This could be contracts, agreements, and negotiations in terms of what it is that you're known for and the money and material that you're going to be bringing in going forward from this, right? Now, Venus moving into Scorpio, Venus is moving out of your 3rd house, out of its home sign of Libra, into the 4th house of home, family, property, as well as, what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on with your home, what's going on with your property, what's going on with your family even. So with Venus moving in here, that's where that focus is going to be. There's probably going to be more communications on the home front. There could also be very private conversations behind the scenes to do with what's going on in that 10th house as well, because Venus does rule your 10th house. So just so you're aware. And so with, Virgo rising particularly, Venus in square with Pluto, let's see, Virgo rising, this is happening in your 2nd house, and Pluto is in your 5th house. Well, this is really nice for Virgos. In this square, so there could be, for some Virgos, this is going to be very intense, very profound, sexual liaisons. For others, this could be maybe intense conversations that happen around money with your lover, or children, or creative hobbies, spending money on creative hobbies. But really, Venus in square with Pluto in the 2nd and then the 5th house, this is very sexual energy. I'm not gonna lie. It is what it is. I would be derelict in my duties as an astrologer if I didn't call a spade, right? So for Virgo risings, particularly, this could be, very heightened sexual activity, very intense sexual activity for you. Just saying. For others, Venus in square with Pluto, this could see your money, your materials, your possessions having to be spent on something really kind of quickly, to do with hobbies, to do with something that you love to do just because you love to do it, your children even. Like there could be clashes in your values and your children, and your values and your lovers. You know, there could definitely be conversations being had with people at a distance, or people from institutions, and it might not be very nice conversations because it is a square aspect to Pluto, and Pluto does rule your third house of communication. So, but it could also as well be very focused and very hyper-focused conversations to do with money, material, and possessions, just so you're aware. Now, this new moon that's happening, you know, this new moon is happening in your sign. This is literally you. This can affect all areas of your life. Now, with the aspects that are being made, you know, Mars is in your sign, firing you up, getting you really passionate, in trine with Pluto in your 5th house. If you're a Virgo rising specifically, I mean, whew, right? Like we talked about Venus square Pluto. Now we have Mars, which is also, this could be you communicating very intensely, very passionately with a lover, with, you know, or communicating very passionately about a hobby, something that you're doing, something that you love to do. Like I said, this could also be you initiating sex. It's as simple as that. Now with Venus also in trine with Jupiter, this is happening in your 2nd and in your 6th house. So this is a really nice conversation too, you know, for Virgo risings and particularly about your money, your materials, your possessions, and what it is that you're doing every day, your job, what it is that you have to show up in order also for your health, your wellness, your well-being. So this could be conversation going on about a potential partnership, right? And in conjunction with this new moon, and I don't mean like, you know, in conjunction like all these planets are together. What I mean is all of this happening on the same day. These could be conversations, very deep, very profound conversations that are happening for you, for your worldview, because Uranus has been shaking up what it is that you believe to be right, true, and just, right? Over the course of the last couple of years, that with its transit here in Taurus. So this new moon for you, this could be very deep, very profound, very intense conversations about what it is that you need to liberate yourself from, what it is you need to transform, what it is that you need to take action on. You yourself need to take action on something. So however that looks for you, whatever that looks like for you, obviously you need to sit and rest because this is a new moon. This is a seeding of intention. But there could also be some things going on that are out of our control. There could be conversations that need to be had in general. I'm just saying. With Venus moving into Scorpio, you know, Venus is moving into your 3rd house. So you're thinking, speaking, communicating, or even spending money on a vehicle. It could be something like that. This could also be maybe thinking, writing, publishing, not broadcasting. What is it called? The heck is it called? It's not broadcasting. Marketing. There we go. Marketing. So you could definitely be marketing something at that small scale, you know, and talking about things, especially because this is your 3rd house. So with Venus here, your conversations could take on a more value or monetarily, this is not a word. Your conversations could be turning more towards money and value, right? Just so you're aware. That's for Virgo. Okay. And for Libra and for Libra rising, so this is awesome because Venus rules you. It's in your first house, right? So this could be definitely for Venus, coming home, refreshing you. This is revitalizing you, refreshing you, renewing you, right? Because Venus is coming into its home sign. And so Venus in square with Pluto, there could definitely be some clashes going on the home front. There could be really very deep, yet very intense insights going on for you on the home front that has to do with family, that also has to do with your value systems, maybe your money, your materials, your possessions. But this could also be a focus on what it is that you value on the home front, what it is that you value in a home, right? Now with Mars, in trine with Pluto, Venus trine Jupiter, the new moon itself, and this new moon in trine with Uranus, there's some different things going on here. And so for this week specifically, apparently I can't talk today. I'm just going to say I can't talk. There's some really interesting things going on for you. And they're behind the scenes, right? Because Virgo is your 12th house. And so with Mars in trine with Pluto from your 12th house to your 4th house, this could be messages coming through. This could be nightmares, but this could also be working behind the scenes with your partner about what to do with the home. This could also be working with your partner behind closed doors that has to do with secrets on the home front as well. Secrets about the home or about the family. This Venus, though, in trine with Jupiter is happening from your 1st to your 5th. And so what this could be is really boosting your sense of, I don't want to say expectation, but boosting your, your joy, right? Because Jupiter and Venus are both very benefic planets. If you're a night-born Libra, specifically, if you're a rising Libra and you're night-born, I mean, you are very lucky. You are very blessed. I'll put it that way. Now, with Venus and trine with Jupiter, Jupiter rules your 6th house of your health, your wellness, your well-being, your daily routines, your colleagues, your coworkers, and what you do every single day. And with Venus in your sign specifically, your focus could be on what lights you up about what you're doing every single day, what brings you joy of what you do every single day, the people that you associate with every single day, your colleagues, your coworkers, and the people that promote you and light you up. There could definitely be some things going on there with those themes. Now, this new moon in Virgo is happening in the 12th house. This is the house of endings. So there could definitely be, a new moon in the 12th house. It's kind of, it's an interesting energy, to say the least, because a new moon is about new beginnings. A new moon is also about letting go of the past. The 12th house literally is the past, or past lives, or past karma, or past burdens and well, I don't want to say restrictions because that's more of a Saturn thing, but it could be something from the past that you need to let go, whether or not it's from the recent past, your childhood, a past life, something like that. But this new moon here too could be heightening. Is that the right word? Heightening your intuition, the things that are unseen in your world. And you could have a much deeper, more profound connection with them, especially, with the trine happening to Uranus in your 8th house. With this new moon, and the 8th house is all about things that are hidden, all about the occult, all about death, all about secrets and occult practices and magic. So there could definitely be some themes this week and over the course of the next month about what's hidden, about what needs to rise to the surface, about what needs to be liberated, and what needs to be looked at in terms of what's behind the veil, right? Now, Venus, your chart ruler, also your 8th house ruler of joint finances and joint finances, other people's money, your spouse's income, your taxes, inheritances, insurances, moving into your 2nd house. This could be money that you get over the course of you specifically, because it does rule you as well, Venus. Moving into your 2nd house, this could be you utilizing money that you get also with Scorpio, with your 2nd house being, I mean, you can't make this shit up. I'm sorry. Scorpio is about death, is about inheritance, is about taxes, is about the things that are really uncomfortable. And so there could definitely be some money coming in from inheritance that you yourself are going to utilize for those purposes, for things that are either taboo, occult, magic, astrology. It could also be, I mean, getting to the bottom of something, maybe like a private investigator or something like that. I'm just saying it could be those types of things. Okay. So for Scorpio and for Scorpio rising, Venus is in Libra in your 12th house, in square with Pluto, which is a co-ruler for you, you know, in your 3rd house of communication. There's could be communications going on behind the scenes. You yourself could be communicating. I mean, okay. So not to get woo-woo, right? Sorry, guys, not to get woo-woo, but for some Scorpio risings, depending, because you guys are very perceptive anyway, this could be very perceptive, very profound insights that come through dreams. But they're messages that you need to communicate to other people, right? Like you yourself need to communicate to someone behind the scenes on the down low of a dream that you have specifically about them. Okay, I'm just going to say that for Scorpio rising. In other words that this could show up, this could definitely be something, conversations that are happening behind the scenes that are not ready to be shared with the public. This could be conversations in partnership. This could be maybe communicating something that has to do with your partnerships or with your spouse or with your clients, that is very deep and very profound, but also very kind of, right? Because when I think Pluto, I think like very uncomfortable. It could be very uncomfortable conversations to do with a partnership or the ending of a specific partnership, whether or not that's a client, a spouse, a business partner, something like that. Now, with Mars coming in trine with Pluto from the 11th to the 3rd, Venus in trine with Jupiter, you know, this is happening in the 12th and in the 5th, or no, not 12th and 5th, 12th and 4th, sorry, Scorpio. And then this new moon in Virgo, specifically happening in your 11th house, in trine with Uranus, right? You know, in your 7th house. So all of these are happening on the same day. And so I don't believe in coincidence, never have, never will. For Scorpio rising, particularly this new beginning happening in your 11th house, this is a brand new insight, right? To do with what it is that you're doing in career, what it is that you, okay, so we're going to bring in house rulerships. The sun rules your 10th house of what it is that you're known for. The 9th house rules your beliefs, right? Your education, whether or not you're an educator or you're going back to school, doesn't matter. Same, but different, right? This new moon in your 11th house means that there could be very deep, very profound insights on your friends groups, the people that you associate with by choice, your future plans, goals, and orientations that you want to get to, that you aspire to in the future, right? And so as a Scorpio rising, you're very meticulous with having Virgo as your 11th house of what it is that your future goals and orientations are. You need to lay everything out. You need to work everything through. You need to have everything planned, right? And that can be really stressful, especially because it's Virgo. However, with Mars, another chart ruler for you, in trine with your other chart ruler, I mean, you can't make this shit up. In trine with your Pluto in your 3rd house, and Pluto is in Capricorn, which is very structured, very orderly, very, you know, I mean, it can be very cageish, but this can be very deep, very profound conversations that you are having with groups and friends and associations in terms of what it is that you want to do going forward and your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. Just saying. Venus in trine with Jupiter, this is happening in your 12th house to your 4th house. So this could definitely see behind the scenes conversations with business partners, spouses, long-term friendships to do with, I mean, Jupiter rules your 5th house of fun, joy, play, but it also rules your 2nd house of money, materials, and possessions. So there could definitely be a combination of energies to do with behind the scenes conversations about what it is that you want to do in partnership, right? Because Venus rules your 7th house of partnership. But it also rules your 12th house itself of dreams. So there could definitely be some behind the scenes things that are happening that are going to be really positive for your home, your family, your roots, right? Because Jupiter is in your 4th house right now. Now, this new moon specifically in Virgo, right? I just touched on this, but this could be new people, new friends, new associations coming in for you as a Scorpio rising. And the trine to Uranus in your 7th house, this could be new social contracts. This could be new contracts and agreements and negotiations going on with new groups and agreements with new people coming in, right? This is really very auspicious. Not suspicious, Scorpio, auspicious, which is very good, very beneficial. Venus moving into Scorpio is moving into your sign. So you yourself are going to get a boost. You're going to be feeling more sexy. You're going to be looking more sexy, right? Like you're going to be feeling this boost too. And this is also, as a Scorpio rising, this is your 7th house. So your partner could be very devoted to what it is that's going on with you and very devoted to you, and his or her attention could be on you specifically. If you're not in a marriage partnership, this could definitely see some Scorpio risings meeting someone that is a potential partner, maybe someone from the past coming back as well, because Venus does rule your 12th house. So that is for Scorpio rising. For Sagittarius and for Sagittarius rising, Venus in Libra is in your 11th house, right? So it's renewing your friendships. It's renewing, revitalize, refreshing your friendship groups, the people in groups and organizations that you associate with, your future goals and orientation that you want to get to, your future, like, right? Like humanitarian pursuits, things like that. Now in square with Pluto in Capricorn is your 2nd house. This is your money, your materials, your possessions. So there could definitely be really, really intense situations that affect what it is that you value, or maybe even affect your bottom dollar in terms of what's going on with a friend group or what's going on with a friend specifically. For some of you, sorry, excuse me. For others of you, you know, this is also your 6th house ruler and your 11th house ruler in the 11th house. So there could definitely be some health crisis going on with a friend. And you're going to need to really explore, you know, something behind the scenes, because Pluto does rule your 12th house of dreams. It does rule your 12th house of the past and like past lives and endings and things like that. So there could definitely be some, I mean, this in and of itself could be a message coming in from a friend that will help you put an end to a health crisis that you have. I'm just saying it could be a thing. Now with this new moon, Mars is in trine with Pluto on this day. Venus is trine with Jupiter on the day of the new moon, and it's in trine with Uranus. So what this tells me is that there's not only is there a new beginning happening in what it is that you're known for, how it is that you're known, how you're showing up in the world, how people see you from the outside looking in, your public persona, but this is also a new beginning in terms of, you know, money. This is a new beginning in terms of legacy. This is a new beginning in terms of also education, because the sun and the moon rule your 8th and your 9th house. So if you're a Sagittarius rising and you're a teacher of some kind, this is going to be really beneficial and really help to transform what it is that you're known as out in the world. You know, Mars in trine with Pluto, this is happening in your 10th and in your 2nd house. So this could definitely be a boost to your finances, or this could be a destruction of sorts, but it's not going to happen in like a really intense way. It's a trine aspect. So it's working with the energy to completely transform your income, the money that you're bringing in, the material possessions that you have, with what it is that you're known for, right? And so, and this could also be because Mars does rule your 5th house of fun, play, joy, romance, things like that. This could be something that really lights you up, that's a creative hobby that you're taking to that next level, and you're going to be making boku bucks from it. I'm not saying right now, okay? So as a Sagittarius rising, you're like, yeah, right? Because you're ruled by Jupiter. So that means that you automatically have this expectation that money's going to fall from the sky. That's not the freaking case. I'm just going to say it like that. Like, it's not the freaking case. Like, you actually have to put in the work to be able to transform what it is that you're doing out in the world, what it is that you're known for, and the money and material that you're making, period. End of story. This will transform that for you, but you have to actually work with the energy. Venus in Libra, in your 11th house of friends, groups, and organizations that you associate with. It's also the ruler of your 6th house, in trine with Jupiter in your 3rd house of communication, your chart ruler. You yourself are going to be communicating with your friends, with the groups and organizations that you associate with. And you're also going to be talking to them probably either about your health, your wellness, your well-being, or you're going to be talking to them about what it is that you're doing every single day to be able to, right, transform. That's all I'm saying. The new moon in Virgo, and this is happening in your, let's see, where are we here? Sagittarius, Virgo, 10th house, right? So this is transforming what it is that you're known as, who you're known as, what you're known for, like top of the chart kind of stuff. So there is that as well. New career, new image, new reputation, right? The sun in trine with Uranus, or this new moon, actually, I should say, in trine with Uranus in Taurus. This is your 6th house, right? So again, we have the association of what it is that you're doing every single day. That's been very crazy and wild and different. And so now you're harnessing that crazy, wild, and different and creating this new beginning of what it is that you're known for, because you've been learning things about the crazy, the wild, and the different. Now, Venus moving into Scorpio for you, Venus is moving out of your 11th house at the end of the week into Scorpio, into your 12th house. So there could be an ending of a friendship, right? Over the course of the next little while Venus transits here. This could also be secret friendships that start. This could be secret conversations about friends that start. But also, because Venus does rule your 6th house, this could also be, you know, getting to the bottom of a health issue or talking about a health issue with a professional, or, you know, your focus is going to be on pulling yourself out of the daily grind and really kind of pulling yourself into solitude and seclusion over the next several weeks with Venus here. So it could be something like that. Now with Capricorn and Capricorn rising, you know, Venus is in, where is Venus here? Recalibrate, right? I'm not a computer, I'm a human, I promise. For Capricorn rising, Venus is your 10th house. Yeah, Libra is your 10th house. And so Pluto is in your sign. So this could be, you know, conversations and you completely transforming who you are and what you're known for in the world. As well as maybe, because this is also a co-ruler of your 11th house, this could also be groups and organizations that you belong to. You're taking the reins and taking the lead in a group or an organization that you belong to and really transforming what it is that you're doing with that group and with that organization. Now with this new moon specifically happening, you know, this is happening in your 9th house. And so on this day that this new moon is happening in your 9th house, you have Mars in trine with Pluto, Venus in trine with Jupiter, and the new moon itself in trine with Uranus. So what's happening is Mars in your 9th house is in trine with Pluto in your 1st house. So this could be you taking action on something or even stepping up on your damn soapbox, Capricorn, right? And really, you know, standing your ground for what it is that you believe to be right, true, and just in the world. This could also be you taking a stand to have something to do with the home. And you're being very deep and very perceptive in what it is that's going on at home, and you're making a stand there. Now, the other thing that this could be too, this could also be really transforming who and what you are associating with by choice, because, you know, Scorpio is your 11th house, you know, Aries is your 4th house. So this could definitely be conversations at a much higher level about who you associate with, why you associate them with, and who you're bringing home, or yeah, or what's going on the home front. With Venus in Libra, in your 10th house, in trine with Jupiter in your 2nd house, these are two are money houses, right? So, and Jupiter rules your communication. It rules how you think, how you speak, and how you communicate. In your 2nd house, you know, you've been talking about your money, your materials, your possessions, what it is that you truly value at that deep core level. And Venus, what it is that you're known for in the world. Maybe you've been making a stand and you've been understanding who you are out in the world and what it is you truly value and what you want to promote to the world at large. Could be something like that. With the new moon happening in your 9th house, there's a new beginning that's on its way that has to do, you know, with something that is fun, something that is joyful, something that brings you joy specifically, or even a new partner that is foreign to you. Because, you know, this new moon is happening in trine with Uranus. This could definitely be, you know, taking a hobby and learning about how you take that hobby to that next level and how you take that hobby and make money with it. It could be something like that as well. Now with Venus moving into Scorpio, Venus is moving from your 10th to your 11th house. So there could definitely be conversations with friends, groups, and organizations that you associate with about, and even conversations about your future plans, goals, and orientation to do with your career and where you want to take that career, right? It could be something like that. Now, let's see what else. And this could also be maybe someone that is in a friends group. Maybe you find them attractive. Maybe there's someone that comes in as Venus enters Scorpio in your 11th house and you're like, dang, this, you know, man or woman is damn gorgeous and handsome, and, you know, I want to date them. I want them to be my romantic kind of partner, because Venus also rules your 5th house of romance. So it could be taking that friendship to the next level. Just FYI. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising, Venus is in Libra in your 9th house, in square with Pluto in Capricorn in your 12th house. So this could definitely be very secret conversations that have to do with something that you need to learn about, something that you need to do. This could also be very secret conversations that go on about possibly even moving to, a foreign country even, because, Pluto is in your 12th house, Venus is in its rulership in your 9th, but it also rules your 4th house of home and family. So maybe you're deciding that you really don't want to talk to anybody other than your absolute closest confidants about moving to a completely different country, or something that's going on behind the scenes, something that is very hidden and away from the world, and it affects your viewpoint of God, the universe, and the world around you, what you believe to be right, true, and just in the world. Now, this new moon specifically is happening in your 8th house. There's definitely a new beginning on the way in terms of your partner's resources, in terms of taxes, insurances, inheritances, claims even, right? Or even if you, from that new moon in Leo, if you signed on the dotted line for a loan, maybe this is around the time that over the course of the next month, from this new moon to new moon, right? New moon to new moon, that you could be getting money, materials, and possessions. No, you could be getting money for a home, or for something of that nature, or to move, or maybe a down payment on a house. So it could be something like that as well. With Mars in trine with Pluto, Mars is in your 8th house of joint finances. So you could be really fired up and really passionate about what's going on there, about what's going on with your partner's resources, about what's going on. Maybe there's some occult practices that you're really passionate about, and you're really fired up about what's going on there. So you're going to take very practical, very pragmatic steps to make sure that happens, but it's going to be done behind the scenes. And it's going to be done in a very intense and very practical way to do with your career and what it is that you're known for out in the world, and what it is that you're doing out in the world, because both of these planets also rule your 10th house of your career, your legacy, what you want to be known for in the public, and what you leave behind after you're dead and gone, right? So there could definitely be some conversations to do with that behind the scenes about what it is that you want to be known for, or there could be something to do with a will or insurance or something like that that comes up. Now, with Venus in Libra in your 9th house, in trine with Jupiter in your house, right? Like your first house, your body, your physical being, and Jupiter, rules Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is your 11th house. There could definitely be conversations, from a distance to you about friends and groups and organizations that you belong to. There could be conversations about your future goals and orientation that you want to get to, right? Those future goals, those future things that we kind of have to map out, right? And get to at some point in our lives. So there could definitely be conversations like that, and about maybe something that you need to learn to, or maybe even it could be learning to associate with groups of people, or associate with a specific friend in a specific way. Now, the new moon in Virgo specifically, this is happening in your joint finances area. This is happening in insurances, inheritances, and taxes. And this is happening, in a very uncomfortable house. Okay, sorry about that, Aquarius. Today is the first day of school for my children, and they literally just got off the bus. I had to run and unlock the door for them. So you might hear some noise in the background of them coming home. This new moon, yes, joint finances, other people's money. This could be, like I said, this could be actually money coming from an institution of sorts, or money coming in from an inheritance, an insurance payout, taxes even. So there's definitely a new beginning in terms of joint resources. Maybe even your partner's resources are going to take on a new beginning of sorts, or maybe an influx of resources from partnership. Now, the sun you know, or this new moon actually in your 8th house in trine with Uranus, you know, in your 4th house. This to me says that this could actually be a new beginning on the home front, a new kind, and this could actually be you initiating, because right, Uranus also rules you. This could be you initiating a new beginning with finances to do with the purchase of a home. It could be something like that. Now, with Venus moving into Scorpio, Venus rules your 9th house, but it also rules your 4th house. And so Venus moving out of your 9th house and into your 10th house, this is definitely something that you could be speaking about, talking to, renewing, revitalizing your 10th house of what it is that you're known for. Now with Venus, you know, ruling your 4th house, this could definitely be you talking about a move that's upcoming that you decided that you wanted to take advantage of. Or this could be, you know, some type of educational pursuit that you decide you want to take advantage of, or some type of education that you want to teach. And so now you're putting that out there for the rest of the world. It could be something like that over the course of the next several weeks with Venus here. And now for Pisces and Pisces rising, you know, this Venus in square with Pluto is happening. Where's Venus for you? Venus is in your 8th house in Libra. Pluto is in your 11th house of your friends, groups, and organizations that you associate with. And so there could be, I don't like this. Okay, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. There could be news coming in of a death of a friend. I'm just gonna say it that way. You know, because Venus rules your 8th house of death. Pluto is, you know, your 9th house of foreigners, in your 11th house of people that you associate with. This could be, for some Pisces rising people in particular, the death of a friend. For others, how this could show up is maybe joint finances coming through groups and organizations that you belong to. This could also be, or this could be money coming in through some type of partnership or some type of insurance or insurance, taxes, or inheritance even, with Pluto in the 11th house. It could be something like that. Now this new moon, there's a lot happening on the day of this new moon. We have Mars in trine with Pluto, Venus in trine with Jupiter, the new moon itself, and the new moon is in trine with Uranus. So Mars in trine with Pluto, you know, this is happening in your 7th to your 11th house. This could actually be initiation of a contract, agreement, or negotiation with a group or organization that you belong to for your future goal-oriented kind of thing, right? You know, Mars in and of itself does rule. What does Mars rule for you, Pisces? I gotta think about this for a second. Mars and Pluto both rule Scorpio, and for you, that's your 9th house of education, of higher knowledge, of, you know, God, the universe, the world around you, what you believe to be right, true, and just in the world. So there could definitely be maybe a contract or agreement or negotiation with an establishment or with a group or organization to teach something. It could be something like that, right? Because these both rule your 9th house. Now, Mars definitely rules your 2nd house. And so this could definitely see a contract or an agreement or a negotiation with a group or organization to make money on. Now, Venus in trine with Jupiter, this is happening in your 8th to your 12th house. And so there's definitely conversations, you know, maybe you yourself, because Jupiter is also a co-ruler for you, there could be conversations going on behind the scenes that have to do with very uncomfortable topics about death, about joint finances, about other people's money, about, let's see, inheritances, taxes, insurances, things like that. They're behind the scenes conversations of maybe the death of something, not necessarily a person, but also like money, finances, things like that. Because you are Pisces, this could also be a behind the scenes conversation about your career, and things like that too. Now the new moon itself is happening in your 7th house. This is contracts, agreements, and negotiations, other people. This could be a marriage partner. This could be a contract with another business or another person or an entity of some kind. This could be a new beginning, and your focus for the next month will be on your relationships with other people. Now, in trine with Uranus, this is happening in your 3rd house of communication, of siblings, or of like short distance travel. So there could be maybe a contract agreement or negotiation going on, or a communication that is very surprising and very shocking, but very beneficial for your contracts and agreements and negotiations, or for your marriage partner. This could be maybe a revelation, something that you communicate to your partner could spur some type of new endeavor for your partner over the coming month. I'm just going to say it that way. And then Venus moving into Scorpio, Venus is moving out of your 8th house into your 9th house of God, the universe, the world around you, your higher worldview, education, teaching, learning, institutions of that kind, as well as what you truly believe to be right, true, and just with the world. So there's definitely some much deeper, more profound things for you to learn here, in this 9th house with Venus here. This could also be at its simplest as well, because Venus does rule your 3rd house, communication at a distance from someone in an organization or group, or not an organization or group, but from an institution of sorts. And it could be the revelation of something, right? A secret of some kind, because Scorpio does rule secrets. So could be something like that. Now, that is all I have for you, and I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching this. If you like this video, please like, please share, please subscribe. Trying to get my name out there, trying to, do the things to do things, really is what it boils down to. So I thank you. I hope you like everything that I've said. I hope it resonates with you. I hope, it's not too intense, right? We have a lot of Scorpio and Pluto and Mars kind of activations going on. So I do hope that this is not so intense, but it may be more passionate, right? So I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.